How you going? So I'm here with the old Subaru, and I reckon it's about time I talked about some of the things I've done to it lately, or in the last year. Give you a bit of an overview of the mods I've had to perform to get the big rubber under it, and take a look at what else has been happening around it. Sorry, parrot's distracted. So in the last trip video I did, this thing was performing pretty well down at Brunswick, as compared to the trip video before that, which was up at the beach, where it performed like crap and it kept overheating. So let's just go over a few of the things that I've done. So first and most obviously is the height of the thing. Obviously you don't get rubber like that under the guards of like a standard family wagon. So what I've gone with is a 2-inch body lift. And being a 1987 vehicle, and there's not so many of them around anymore, it's kind of hard to find body lifts for them. I had to buy it off Gumtree, from South Australia actually, from one that had been pulled out of a wreck. So it was a previously used body lift. Unfortunately, it came with no instructions. It was just a bag of bolts and bits of metal, and it was like 50 parts, and so it took me a good couple of days with a few trolley jacks trying to figure out what block went where. As well as the body lift, it's actually got 2 inches higher springs in the rear, which are a bit heavier duty. They're quite stiff, but when I load it full of a bit of camping gear, it's not so bad. As a result of having the extra 2 inches in the back, I haven't had to cut the guards to get the bigger rubber under, which is good, because as you can see, there's not a lot of metal there that I could even cut out to be able to fit those wheels. So the back's all good, but let's go and take a look at what I had to do at the front. There you go, angle grinder massage, that's what I had to do. I think all I did was get the angle grinder cut an inch or two from about here all the way down, and then just rolled it under with pliers and an adjustable spanner. And here's a little bit of footage that we got of that. Harry was with me at the time, so he filmed me cut and sit with an angle grinder. Then of course I chucked all these wheels on and I took it for a spin around the block, went lock to lock to see if it was rubbing, and it was absolutely perfect. Until I went and put the mud flaps back on, and now it does actually rub right up in here. So I'm going to actually get rid of the factory mud flaps. Because they're moulded, they kind of sit into the wheel arch a bit, so rather than cut more, I'll just get rid of them and just put a couple of sheets of rubber in there. That's just Bunnings garden edging. I think it's 100mm, something like that, but Bunnings garden edging, just run it up there, cut it to length and screw it in, and that keeps the rubber under the guards, keep me out of some sort of trouble. So the tyres themselves, they're pretty mean looking things, hey. They are Kumo Road Venture MTs. It's been a while since I've had mud terrain tyres. On the old Patrol I just had all terrains obviously, and I had forgotten exactly how much traction a good mud tyre gives. These bad boys are 27 inches by 8.5 inches wide on a 14-inch rim. These rims are off a Brumby and are starting to get a little bit tricky to come by. I mean, they're not too bad, but you know, you just don't find them everywhere. So $150 for a set of 4. They were white, they'd had a few coats of paint over the years. I stripped them right back to bare metal using paint stripper and a wire brush on a drill. Took them right back to bare metal and obviously sprayed them orange just to stand out more. So you won't always see me using these rims on the streets. I still got the old 13-inch wheels and road tyres because this thing is incredibly underpowered on such big tyres, and the amount of fuel it drinks is unbelievable. Under the bonnet, nothing terribly exciting. I've got this light bar on there. It's a 22-inch I think, manufactured by Ridge Rider, and it's a curved model, which is actually really good. Like, the spread of light obviously off to the sides of the road. Pretty incredible. Shit's all over the factory headlight. I pulled the radiator out and it was pretty shot. All the fins had corroded and like you just brush your fingers over the fins and they'd fall out. So I sorted it out with a new radiator. I have access to pretty cheap parts, but I couldn't find one for the L series, a radiator that is. I called around a bit. Nah, nobody makes a new one for it. I'll probably have to get it remanufactured and all that. Now bugger that, that's going to cost me half the value of the bloody car. What I could find was a radiator to suit a Subaru Leone, which I was kind of under the impression was essentially the same thing, just like a two-wheel drive sedan version of the L series. So whilst I was assured it wouldn't fit, I purchased one anyway, and I made it take it. All I had to do was like bend the shit out of the radiator subframe there, and I managed to cram it in there. It's like mostly the same, all the outlets are in the same place and everything, and so far that seems to be helping a fair bit. Still gets hot, which is why I've got two thermo fans right behind this grill here, and they literally cover the whole radiator. I think they're two 10-inch fans, and they're on a manual switch. The reason being, this whole car is negatively switched. I don't understand negative switching, and like I can look up diagrams on Google and wire it up exactly as it says it should work, but no, it just blows my mind. So back here, still using the trusty vice grips to hold the back up. Gas struts are still stuffed, but here's a major improvement. I've got tunes now. So two 6x9s in the back. They've made all the plastic trim crack and they're about to fall out, so I'm just keeping my eye out for a cheap piece of aluminium checker plate or something. Finally, inside. These aren't just seat covers. I drove this thing 4 hours up to Dongra non-stop and got a crook back and had to have like 3 physio sessions. So I swapped the seats out for some Toyota Celica seats out of a 1993 model, I think. Played around with the rails a bit, bolted them in, such comfort. Over here I've got my gauges. Water temperature, worked for a bit, doesn't work. Now, I have no idea. I've never had so much trouble with wiring on a vehicle as I have with this one. It is ridiculous. Like, I cannot find a reason why that doesn't work. I've got RPM up here as well. That's not accurate. I do not understand why either. And over here, I'm running just a cheap Pioneer deck. I picked all this audio gear up on special. I think it probably owes me 120 bucks for the whole lot, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's about it. Oh, except for the racing pedals. This is like plus 10 horsepower, maximum race mode. The problem is the things are so big and there's so little room that it's like involuntary heel-toe braking. You got big boots on and you're like, fuck, boom, there's like an accelerator there somewhere. Oh shit, there's a brake. Oh, there's some accelerator. So yeah, as you can see, like when I got big boots on, I'm just mashing everything and hoping for the best. So there you go. That's the Subi so far. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, just shoot it down below there in the comments. I do have a snorkel to go on shortly, and I'll be filming a how-to on that one because I feel like a snorkel is something that can generally be applied to all sorts of vehicles. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and then you'll get to see this bad boy perform a bit more, and of course then you don't miss all the crazy stuff that I do to it. Again, thanks for watching and have a safe and Merry Christmas, because that's a couple of days away, and I'll see you all probably in the new year.